Yeah, good evening, all. Thank you for joining the session. Are you able to hear me? Just type in chat that you are able to hear me. I'm clearly audible. Type in chat if you are able to view my screen and I'm clearly audible. Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Just type in chat no if you. Yeah, thank you. So today we are going to see Java Spring Boot and how to build a web application. Yeah, thank you, Shiva and Avinash. Thank you for joining and updating me. Thank you. So let's start. So what are the prerequisites of this? Uh, so here you need to have a Java. So what we are trying to do today, we are going to build a Java Spring Boot web application, and we are trying to do this in our laptop or in our desktop. We are not going for an AWS as of now. So we are trying to do this, and once we have done this, maybe we will establish this. So we will try to to finish it off today itself. But if something is lengthening and it's taking little bit time, we'll extend it for the next week. Okay. So that is the thing. Okay. So what are the prerequisites here? Here you need Java to be installed in your system. So how to install it? You can directly copy this link. So I'll put in the description also. You can just copy this link and you can install Java. So once you have installed, how to check this? So go to your command prompt, give cmd. So command prompt and just give here as Java hyphen version. So when you give this, you will be able to see what version of Java that is installed and whether that is Java installed. So Java is installed and it is of 1.8 of version 3.81. So this is the main thing that should be there in your system. Okay, this is there. What is the next thing? Next thing is MySQL. So MySQL database, you need to download it. Download a community version of it, so it is an Oracle. So actually, hope you know, no, MySQL is now the part of Oracle. You need to create a user credentials in Java, I mean in Oracle, and then only you will be allowed to download. So once you have downloaded this, you will set up a front end. So we have in if you attended my previous sessions, you might have seen that we were uploading the MySQL data. We were installing the MySQL database and in command prompt area. Here we, once we are using in Windows, it will be better to visualize, right? So to visualize, HideSQL is a very good tool for using it. So I'm just open it that also. So this is an tool which is needed for your visualization. So it's a front end, nothing but a front end for MySQL database. So this is there. So MySQL database needed that you have to install, and you need a IDSQL for it. Okay, so we have this setup also ready. Then we need a postman. So postman, why postman? So actually we are going to develop a web application which is of a REST service. Uh, Anybody having an idea what is a REST service? REST APIs? In web services, we say a REST API, right? A REST web services. Any idea? Can you type in chat? What is a REST APIs? REST web services? Okay. So meanwhile, you type on the chat. Let's go on. So what is a REST API? So anything, say for example, when you take an HTML up form, in HTML, what is the way of giving user input? You need to have a form, right? For a web. So HTML becomes a major part of the front end web, right? So there you will be using a form. And in that form, the method you will be used or is post method or get method, right? Hope you might have used that post method or get method. But in REST services, we have in addition to it, put, patch, and delete. So what is this? So get method means what will happen? The URL will be clearly visible. So when you submit it in the URL, you can see that there is something written on the URL also. It will go with username. So I'll just show you something like this. So how it will be like this. Say for example, it is .me is my website slash user Jai Ambershan. So like this, you will see something in the URL. So that becomes a get method. Post method, what will be there? You will not be able to view anything in the URL. It will be directly posted. So usually when we are typing your user credentials, what you will do, you will always go for a post method for doing it because it should not be visible, right? So these are the two methods which we have. But in REST APIs, we have additionally few methods like put, patch, and delete. So get method, what this get method will do is it will retrieve the details of the resources. Say, for example, I have given a user, and if I post user slash user, I'll show you an example here also. Here you will get a clearer. So if I am posting something like get method, I am posting slash users. And if it is a post method, the URL remains the same. The users is the URL. Here also the users is the URL. So what do I mean? Like vijayan.my slash users. If I give something like this. So the URL remains the same, whether it is a get method or post method. Get method can be done directly from the URL, right? So when you are trying to use a get method, you can bookmark. If there is something which is using a get method, you will be able to bookmark the content and use it. But post method, you will not be able to bookmark it, right? So because data is passed internally, so you need to submit it and get it done. So, but the URL remains the same, that is a get method or post method. So we will not be able to test directly get method and post method from the browser. So that is the reason we are going for a one more tool called Postman. So what is this Postman? So Postman is a tool used so that you can use different types of methods for posting the data. So I'll just open it and show it for you also. Postman open. Okay, for some reasons it's not getting opened. 1 minute. So you can download Postman from this website. Just trying to log in here. Yeah, username. So I'm just signing in. So actually it is a desktop application I have downloaded, but it is refusing to open it. So I will do it directly from here. So here I have this. We'll go to workspace, my workspace. So I'll just open you one project so that you will understand this. So here you can see that there is a website which can be used with post method. So different methods you will be get. So get method, post method, put, patch, delete. So these are the options that are available in this. So that is why we were insisting that we will go for a postman. So with this postman, you will be able to test all the types of methods, get method, post method, put method, and patch method. So just coming back to our slide. Yeah. So the URL remains the same. So slash users, if it is a get method, it will retrieve the user data. If it is a post method, it will insert the data into the database. So that is the difference between get method and post method in REST APIs. And what is it? What is the next one? Retrieve one particular user. Say, for example, you want to retrieve a particular user by its user ID. Then what you do, you go with retrieve one user, get, the method remains the get user slash ID. So the URL will be whatever be the host name. Maybe it is localhost means localhost slash user slash one. So this will be there. And if you want to delete a user, the method you have to change it to delete method. And the URL remains the same, which we used for retrieving a particular user, but this deletes it. So to test this, this will not be possible directly using a web browser, right? So that is the point where Postman comes into play, where we can change the data, we can give what data has to be sent. So those things we can do that. Then at the same time to retrieve a particular post. So user, if there is a post means user ID, particular user, say for example, user ID 1 has given a post. Whatever the post user 1 has published, we will get the list on. Here we will see the post users ID by post. So if it is a get method, it is. If you want to create a new post, it will be a post method. So that is the difference. Get method shows what are the posts posted by that particular user. If it is a post method, you will hope you are getting this. What is this HTML get method and post method, right? You have used it, I think. Anyway, I'll show you where we will do this. So when we come there, HTML forms, get and post method. You might have seen this anyway. So this is the place which I mean. So form actions. What you do in HTML page, you give the page, target page, to which page this data has to be sent, right? And what is the method? Is it a get method or a post method? So that's what we do, right? So I'm referring this area. So when you're using a form, you will be able to give get put as well as you want to give a patch. That also is possible. That's what we saw. patch, delete, update also is an additional thing which REST API alone can understand it, not all the things, right? So that is the intention of doing this. So now we see that how a REST API works and what will be the what will be the data output, how the data. So for REST APIs, you can get the data in different formats. The most famous thing is if you see is JSON data. So JSON data is very famous throughout. There are formats of XML. You can get data through XML also. You can get it through text format also. There are different formats possible, but the most standard form is a JSON. So what is a JSON? So if you give, I'll just give you a JSON sample. How a JSON data will look. So JSON examples, JSON.org. So this is how you will get it. So your JSON data will have something like this. So here it is glossary title, and internally there is an example glossary title. So if something comes like this, this is nothing but a JSON data. For XML, data will be like this. So the XML was very famous in the early stage before JSON was introduced. When JSON came into picture, it was very easy for them to go to. So JSON, so default setup for nowadays is JSON setup, which gives you a clear picture on this. Right. Okay. So now you have this idea. What is a JSON? What is a REST API? How does a REST API works? So how to interact also to check that the REST APIs, you need some tools additionally. So there are different tools available. I am going to use Postman in this my criteria to view the things. Right. So that is it. Now, coming to Java. So what we are trying to do, we are going to build this entire application using Java. And in this, it will be a Maven project. So what is a Maven project? Hope some of you might have already used it, but still you might have just used core Java means what is a Maven project? So Maven project is a structure for our convenience. So it manages widely used tools, lifecycle software projects. It's for compilation code, running tests, packaging, application, and managing dependency. So it helps in different ways in structuring our data so that it becomes very easy for us to do it. So it has its own dependency. Say, for example, when you are running a web application, what do you need? You need a web server, right? So without a web server, you will not be able to run. So in last our live sessions, we installed Apache web server for us. When you are particular with a Java application, what you need? You need a Apache Tomcat web server for running it, right? So this, whatever is basic requirements for this, everything is inbuilt in this, and it will automatically get set there. So you need not go for a separate web server execution and all. And automatic tools are there that such that you can just when you save it automatically, it will get compiled. So those things also you can see that. So those are the things that is the advantage of it. And w- we will be discussing little bit on MVC structure also. What is MVC structure? So we are setting in such a way that our application has model separate, view separate, controller separate. View, of course, we are not going to do in our case because we are going to develop a web REST API applications. So in that case, that will be not there. So what we will be trying to do, we will be using model and controller. We will be using services, what will an interface, we will be using interfaces also. Right. So model, what do you mean by a model? Model is nothing but the key for the structure of the database, how you are getting the data from the database, which is a type of connection that is used to connect to your database and connect it. And controller, so it is how controls the data. Say, for example, if it is a post request, what is the API request that is coming in? If it is a post request, which function needs to be called. If it is a get request, which function needs to be, because the URL remains the same, right? Only the data which has to be displayed or which the action which has to taken differs. If it is a slash localhost slash users, if it is a get method, it fetches the data from the database and gives you the data as an output. But if it is a post method, what it will do, it will try to insert the data given by you to your database, right? So those things are controlled by the controller. So we are trying to structure in such a way that it is having a model and it is a view also. Yes, we have one question from Arvind. Sir, is it possible to create a front-end structure too using Maven or by connecting any other framework with Maven? So yes, explicitly, if you see that you cannot do it directly with Maven, but definitely you can integrate it with other frameworks and do it. Don't worry, we will come to that discussion also in the later stage. First, we will understand. Now we have understood the basic concept that we are trying to build here, right? Now, our main theme, we are coming to the main theme now. So what we said, we will be discussing about a Spring Boot, right? For Spring Boot application. So to start a Spring Boot application, you can do it as your own, but there is a tool already available. So how you can do, just this is the URL startspring.io. When you give this, you will get a basic setup, what needs to be added for our Spring Boot. So that is what is here, right? So what kind of project it is, whether it is a Maven project or a Groovy project or a Kotlin project. We said that we will be going for a Maven project, right? So it is Maven. And what is the language that is going to be used? It is a Java language that we are going to use. We are not going to go for Kotlin or Java. So in Spring Boot, we are trying to use Java Maven project. So what is the Spring Boot version that we want? So 3.1.3 in my case, I am going to use it. It's up to you. If you are having a lower version, you can go with the lower version. Then comes project metadata. So what is the project name? So let it be group com dot, just you can give a unique name, right? That is it. So expert dot you com dot expert. I give something like this. And here, what is the package? We will do a user cred operation. So I'm going with a user here. So user. Okay, whether it's a war file. No, I am going to create a jar file. So jar file. And what is my version? I am taking 17 in my version. So this is the basic thing. Now I need to add dependencies, right? So what kind of dependencies I need to be added in my Maven and project in or in my Spring Boot this application. That's what I am going to do. So add dependency, type add dependency, and here you can give it a Spring Web. So just give it a Spring Web, right? Spring Web. So this is the first dependency that I need. Then what I am going to do, I'm going to connect it with my database, right? To connect it with my database, I need to go for an another thing called JPA. So JPA is an SQL which helps us to connect with a database. So that is there. And this is enough, but anyway, I will take MySQL Drive also. Sometimes if there is a connectivity needed. So my SQL driver. So I'm taking a MySQL driver. GDOs. So this is there. This is enough for us. But one thing here, say for example, when you're writing a project, Java application project, what you have to do, you have to create that boilerplates. No, so Java mainly what we have that boilerplate issues, right? So where we need to set getter functions, setter functions. So those things has to be given, right? Getter functions, setter functions, which is little bit difficult or tedious for us for doing the getter setter function. You need to set it. But for that, there is an additional option here which helps you to do that on a go. So it is known as lombok. So this is another dependency I'm getting it. This is optional one. You can do it without with this or without that also. Both can be done. I'll show that for you. So these are the things that is needed for me dependency. And once all my dependencies are set, I will just give it as generate. So here is a button called generate. I'm giving it as generate. It is generating. So it is asking me where to store it. Maybe I'll store it as desktop itself. I'll store it in the name as user API. Say- So now it has, I have stored in my disk. So this is a file which is containing all the content of it. So first thing you have to do is you need to unzip it. So I'm just going to the desktop. It is nothing but user API, right? So I'm just double clicking it. I need to unzip this file. This is a zip file. I need to unzip this file. So extraction, user API, extract. Okay. So I have extracted. So what I have done, I have created my Spring Boot basic setup. I have added the dependencies and I have downloaded it and extracted and kept. Now what I have to do, I have to launch an IDE. So you can go with any IDE of your choice. My choice here is Eclipse. I'm going to use my Eclipse ID for development. So just opening my IDE. So it is asking for which is the workspace. Let it take me in the Java itself. Just giving it here. Just a minute. It is opening now. Okay. So this confused you. Yeah. Then we have open an any ID of your choice. For me, I take this as an ID to use it. Right. So now coming to my desktop, I have user API. Will refactor this because already I have a user. File, go to import and give existing Maven project. So it will ask me where is it. So browse to my desktop. So in my desktop, I have user API. So this is my, I select my folder, user API, there is a user. Okay, select folder. So it is an existing project is in the same name. So that is the issue I'm getting it. Maybe I will exit this. I'm totally deleting this. Okay, now I go to file, import an existing Maven project. So I give browse. It's from my desktop and it is user API, user, select folder. So now I don't have an issue. I get this finish. So let's click this finish. So now it is trying to import see project 75%. It's a bit of time based on your network connection. So once it is everything is done and ready, you will get the project here, right? So just if you click this, you will see that we have here, coming here. So actually here, what we did, we had this dependency, right? So where is this dependency going here? Here, if you see, this is our entire files. And if you see that form.xml, when I click on this, you can see we have given the Spring Boot framework, MySQL connection we have given, lombok we have given. So this is it. So this is nothing but a hard file. So what we call this is nothing but a hard file in which all the things are kept. So what are the dependencies that we have kept? So everything is kept here, right? That is one thing. Now, this is the main folder, which is the where you have the source file. So here, user application. So this is the place from where you will be starting your applications. So you can create a folder and do the applications also. So this is the main file and you're doing here, right? So this, and here there is one more thing called resources. So application resource. So when you give application properties, so here is the place where you will be configuring your database. So what database you are connecting. So those things is done here. If you want to give any unit test cases, you can give. You can see Maven dependencies. What are the things which is already opened, and you'll get the list of things which is already ready with this, which you can use it. So that is the main advantage of Maven. So it keeps. So we said Apache Tomcat, right? So that was also you can see here. Tomcat. Okay, so we can search it and give it also. So that is also Tomcat. So everything is ready with us and we can proceed with it. Now, so I have done nothing. Just we have downloaded from the web. And what I am trying to do, I am trying to check if it is able to execute. See, defaultly, this will take port 80 and run it, right? So when I give localhost, so what happens, just see, I have not executed. You can see the difference between it is started to run or not. So that is the main here. So giving us localhost colon 8080. When I'm giving like this and press enter, just see what happens. You can see this site can't be reached. What does it means? That is localhost 8080 is not running anything. So it is not having anything in its part. It is just a empty set or nothing is executed in this particular thing. So once I have downloaded and have kept in the Eclipse, what I do, this is my user application. I am writing this and go to run Java application. I give this as Java application. When I give this, you can see that Spring Boot starts running here, right? Now, here it gives me an error. So actually embedded database, it is showing me that there is a database error in. So what is the reason? So I have given that it is having a connectivity with MySQL database, but here in the application properties, I have not mentioned any database connection here. So that is the reason I am getting this error. So I have given this code here. So you can see here. So this is it. So you need to connect it, right? So I'm just copying this and just pasting here. So what is this? So Spring database server, what is the URL? So it is running in my localhost. What is the default port? For MySQL, the default port is 3306. And what is the database name? Database name is user management I am trying to give. So whether my user management is already there, I have not created the database, right? So just let's check. So this is the thing. I have no user management table. So what I will do, I'll just click here, create new database, and I will give it as user management. I guess give us user management and click OK. So now my user management data is, user management database is ready, but it is having no tables. Just I am creating a database. So user management, okay. And what is the username for connecting? It's my local. I have given root as my username and password is also a root for it. So what is the way of connecting the database? So that is that. Next comes Spring Java properties. Here, these two has to be updated for connecting with Hibernate as well as if you want to update it. So these two need to be added. Okay. Now I have done everything. So once again, I will try to run. So I hope you saw this, right? So it has failed now. Now let's check this once again. So I'm just right clicking this and I give it as run as Java application. So I'm running here. Yeah. So now you see that there is no error coming out of it and it has successfully executed and it is waiting for us. Right. So you can see that it is using a Tomcat. So it is using Apache Tomcat as a web server for our case and it is using it. And what is the port that is using? So Tomcat started on port 8080. So Tomcat port started on 8080. So that is what we are getting here. So I'm just coming to my web page. So previously you saw that the site can't be reached. So this was the error message. That means it's not able to find anything, right? Now, when I refresh this, see what happens. See, now it is not saying that site can't be reached, but it is saying that there is something running, but the application has no explicit mapping for errors. There is nothing mapped or nothing to do with it. But there is an application running on 8080. There is nothing to display or show in our case. So, hope you are getting it right. Am I clear, slow and clear? Any doubts? Just update me in chat box that you're learning it, no issues. You're able to understand. You're getting it right. Checking for chat. Is it clear? Okay. Maybe there is a little bit lag in our connectivity. I'm not getting it. Okay. Anyway, so if you have anything not finding clear in any particular point, just update me in chat. I will re-explain the concept. Okay. So now we have done till this. Now, no issues. Okay, Avinash, thank you. Harshiti. Okay, thank you. So no issue. So now you're getting the point. So we have successfully created a Spring Boot application, web application, but nothing still far has been shown, right? We are started to run it, but even though we have not written a code for it. So now we will go to the coding part. So before going to the coding part, I need to know what needs to be displayed. So already in my database, I'll create a table and I will give the content also so that I will start using it. So I'll go to my database, user management, and here I'm creating a new table. So I'll give it as new table and table name, maybe I'll give it as user. Table name, I'm giving it as user. So then what are the columns? So add, I'm giving as ID, which will be an, what is an ID usually in an user table? So in a table, in ID, which refers a unique thing, right? So unique thing so that what will happen, you will be able to uniquely get the, what to say, you will be uniquely able to identify the user. Say for example, there are two persons with the same name. Sometimes the same father name also will be there, but the persons will be two different, right? In those cases, only the ID which will be very clear in differentiating between them. So that is it. So the ID should be there, and it should be an auto increment field for all cases. So ID. Next, what is it? I'm going to use name. ID, I'm giving it as integer. It can be long also, that will be better. But for my name, I'm going to use varchar of 50. In some cases, it may exceed, so let it be 100, no issues. Then I go with add name email. I'll go with email also, email. And I'll give it as varchar of 100. So that's it. I just save this. So now our user table is created. So when I click this, you will get the user table and I go to data. So you can see that data is nothing. So I can right click, insert row. So what is the ID? So I'll give at least five or three user names. So name, maybe here I will give it as Vijay. Email VP Vijayanand at gmail.com. Next, second one. ID2. I can give auto increment. I missed out auto increment. That is the reason I am giving it. Let it be Google mail.com. One more. So third one, say Ram, Ram at gmail.com. Something like this. So I have created three names for us reference so that I will get it. Right. So what are the fields here? ID, name, and email. So these are the fields that is there. Now coming back to our project. So here this is the thing. Now I need to create a model. So you can name it as a model. In certain cases, they name it as entity also. Both refers the same, right? So model also you can give it by entity also. Both refers the same. So what I can do, I can just give it as right click, create a new package. And what is the dot model? Finish. So now I have created a model. Here, right click, go to new class file, and I give it as user. Finish. Right? So user model, now I have given as user here. So here, this is nothing but our database connection. So I mean database, what we need to do with the database. So here, I need to give as what kind of data. So you have the different kinds of data types like public, protected, private. So these are the things. So you can go with anything. I go with public, long. Public is nothing but the encapsulation or data hiding. We say that data to be hidden or data abstraction, whatever you call. So long hiding. Next, I give it as public string name. Next one is public string email. So these are the fields, right? So public string name. So here you should be very careful in point. What is it? What is the user? So this is a model. which is nothing but the user. So automatic, everything is done automatic. So what it will do, it will automatically check the database whether it is having a user table there. If the table is different, so you are created a table name with a different name, and here you are giving us a model as a different name. Definitely, can we accommodate it? Yes, we can accommodate it. What I have to do, I have to give it as at and give table, at table, and give name equal to what is the table name. If it is say instead of user, I have given as users, I can give this. So this is for if you want to give any particular table name. In our case, it is not the thing. So this is nothing but it is asking to import. Okay. So just you click on this. It will ask to import table. So it goes on. So this is a import package that is expecting here. Okay. So the concept here is table users. If you give this, now it will check for the database with what is the table name users. But in our case, what is it? It is actually a user. It is nothing but a user table, right? It is not users. In that case, it will fail. Okay, you can give it as user. But if it is same as user, you can totally avoid this. You need not even go for this. You can just leave like this. So this yellow lines means that you are not used at all, which is in not use. So that is the reason you are getting it. Okay, so that is for table. Let this be. So let us this is for table. Now the same case comes for the field names also. Here, if you are using a field name, which is nothing but name here. So this must match with the field name here. If it is not matching, so automatically what it does, you will not be able to, you will be not giving a query like something like insert into table name or table name user with the field name this. That is everything is done automatically. That is the major advantage of using Spring Boot. So it will do everything for you, right? So if there is a change, if you want to implement, say for example, if you have changed the name, instead of name, you have username in your table, no issues. You go with just give at column. You can give it as at column. You can just give as column and you can give the same way as name equal, say for example, username. Say something like this. You have given something like this. You can give like this. At the same time, if you say that it is nullable is false, you are not allowing to give that. So those things also give. So here it's showing there. I'm going to use similar such things. So instead of table, I'll give it as dot star. So it imports anything which comes with this. So this is having table, columns, etc. So when I give this, it is automatically takes it. So not only for this, say for example, I don't want to be, this field should not be null. So what I can give it as CO column and I can give it as, sorry, not nullable. I should give it as nullable. Name already we have given it. So nullable and I will give it as false. So in this case, it should be in caps. Nullable is false. That means you are not allowing null function in this case. So that is how you do with this. Like this, you can do where whatever is needed. You need to add. So when you are doing this, you should not use column column. So what you can do, you can give a comma separation. So what I can do, I can just cut it and paste it here. Comma. You can give it as nullable. Okay. You need not go for separate things. So this will work. So if you want to add some additional thing, you can go on with this. So that is one thing. Right now. Now you might have seen that we will use that getter function and setter functions, right? So we will be using that getter function and setter function. So what I need to do, I'll just need to do is right click and give it as source. If you go to source, you will see generate getters and setters. Can you see this? You will be seeing that getters, generate getters and setters. Just click on this. So for which fields? Or for email, ID, name, for all, right? So you can give it a select all also, and you just give generate. So automatically it will create for you the getters and setter function. But if you see in our pom XML, pom.xml, we have done something like this, right? What is this? Lombok. When you're using this lombok, what is the advantage here is you need not give this. You can directly say at getter, at setter. So what I can do instead of giving like this is the boilerplate which I said, which is a little bit difficult for us, no? So you can remove this, just removing this. And what I am going to do, I am going to just right click, go here and give it as at getter. Okay, at getter. So that means all the getters should be added automatically. So for this, I need to import a package, right? So import. What is it? It's nothing but lombok dot getter for our case, right? Getter. So getter gets added automatically. Same way we have getter setter function, right? Setter. So you can give it a setter. Next, we go for a constructor, right? No argument constructor and all arguments constructor. So I can give that also at. You can give it as no argument, args, argument constructor, tructo, no argument constructor. And you can give it as at all args constructor, all argument constructor. So here, instead of giving this, so I am going to for multiple, you can add that, or you can go for the star mark also. So once you given this star mark, what will happen? It will import all so that everything is getting. Are you understanding this? Is that clear? So in this case, we don't need a separate getter setter function or constructors. Everything is automatically done by the system. That is Lombok helps us for generating the boilerplates. Are you able to understand? Is it clear so far? I think we are almost crossed 52 minutes. Will not be able to complete the entire thing also. Maybe I will continue with the next session. So we will go for next week and again we will continue this and close it. So, but you hope you got the basic setup, right? Now, one more thing, we will add some controllers also. So how to create a controller or how I will give you the interface. So how to create an interface and we will stop at that stage so that you are clear with this. So for user interface, what we do, so it is nothing but a service, right? So service is there. So how do we create it? We can create it as a service, right? So what I do, I just right click, new package. I'll give it a service. What is the node? Dot service. So I give this as service and give finish. So this is my service. Now in the service, I will be creating an interface. So what is an interface basically? So interface is nothing but for which it can be used. You can use it for a CRUD operations. So those things and all you can do with an interface. So user services. So we will create this and we will stop. I think we promised for only 1 hour. Just bear with me if there is 1 or 2 minutes extension. We will complete this and we will stop and we'll continue. Okay. So just give a like it, go to new, go to interfaces, and what is the interface that you want to give? I want to create this is a service and it is nothing but an user service. So give it as user service. Okay. User service. Finish. So now I get a user service here, user service. Now here, what are the different user service I will be reading? So user, I'm going to user this user class, nothing but our model, right? So we used our model, right? User. What I will do, I'll be creating create user. So create user. So create users. You can go for create user. Usually when we get, we will be getting users, right? Multiple users at a time. But when we are creating, we will go with a single. So user create. And what is it? Nothing but user. Okay. This is now. So I need to import this file, right? So just click here. You will get it as implement import user. So that's it. So now we have created this service. So this is for creating our, so we are trying to do a CRUD operation. CRUD means what? We are creating it, updating it, and we are deleting it. So that is it. And also visualizing it. So that's what we mean by CRUD option. So that is that. So user. Next, this is one thing. Next one is user. I'll be get by user ID. Say for example, I am searching by a user ID. Then I will go for a get user. You can go directly get user also. I'm getting going to give it as get user by ID. So what is the way that I'm going to search? I am going to search by ID. So I'll give it as get user by ID. And what is the type declaration that you used in this? This is more important. Here you are given as long, right? So the same way here, what you have to do, you have to give it as long. And what is it? Here I am going to give it as user ID. It is not referring to the uh, actual user ID there. Here you are taking it as a user ID and you can use it as you need it. So this is a new thing. So that is it. Now another thing is what we will get by ID. Another thing we will be listing out all the users that are in our database, right? So for that I need to use a list. So list, what is it? I am taking a list of user that is there, user list, get all users. So I'm going to get all users, right? So this is a function. So get all users. So this is one, right? So this list is showing that you need to implement. So import list. I'm just giving as import list so that it gets imported list user. Next, at the same time, we need to update the user also. So, right. So we will give it as user, update user. Here also we will be getting input as a user class with user. So that is that. What else we need? We need to delete it, right? So delete it. What will be the return type? Here and all it is okay. It is user is returning type. In deleting, I don't want to return anything. I am just giving as void. That means it will not return anything. So delete, delete user. So what is it? Long. What is the data type I have used? It is long. I am going to use it by user ID. So these are the things. So this is our service. Now, for this service, we need an implementation also, right? So for this service, we need an implementation also. We will do that implementation in the next session. As of now, we'll stop with here because almost we have reached our time. Um, Sorry, actually, I need to explain it in detail. That's why it took a longer time. In next session, we will definitely close it. But hope you are understanding the concepts, right? Is it clear? Is there any doubts? Just type anything in the chats if you are finding anything difficult or you want to give some more explanation in certain case. Or else, okay, we will start this with a next live session, maybe next Saturday. Next Saturday, we will have a live session and we will close it. Are you learning? Is it okay? Hello? Just type something in chat. No, I'm not able to view. Okay, Muhammad Asif has said, yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for your support. We will no doubts next week sessions. Okay. Okay then. Thank you very much. If you have any comments, please update in the comment section so that I will check it out and in the next session we will go it. Was clear if we found share some resources, learn Spring Boot more in detail. Okay, I'll definitely share the resource. I'll in this description I will give the details of some more tutorials so that you can go through and come. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for participating. See you in next live session.